Oh, we're running along. Yeah.
I wouldn't want it. She left in now.
Yeah, she's sitting on it.
So we're off on our journey, Sarah, and we're down to Denham Country Park, aren't we? And we're going to talk about some of the things that will be going on down here. I mean, as you can see, this is an incredibly beautiful area. I don't know if you saw the swans and all the wildlife. Is there anything? It's going to be starting down here, isn't it?
It's exactly where we are now. The viaduct will be thundering overhead. So for the access routes, they want roads down both sides of the canal.
Oh gosh. Well, that's going to be really demonstrating to like all this.
All of this.
Wildlife.
I mean, look at those.
I mean, adorable.
Underground here is the mid-Chilterns Chalk Aquifer. It's a huge aquifer, and 22% of London drinking water is extracted from the aquifer in this valley, in this part of the valley. The water company, Affinity Water, has been indemnified for £77 million, and that is to move their water abstraction points further up the valley. But I have been told that it really won't work, that there isn't any more water further up the valley. Well, they say they need to move the abstraction points because of chalk turbidity, which means that they are saying they are going to be interfering with the chalk. And as you can see, I mean, this, we've got clear water. We've got one of the most productive, one of the top fishing lakes in the country, that side, that's Savay Lake. We've got a beautiful lake this side, Hillingdon Outdoor Activity Centre Lake.
Oh, wow.
Where thousands of people learn sailing and kayaking and just spend time in nature.
And to take that away from the people, and look at this little bird sitting there. I mean, it's just loveliness, isn't it?
It's a coot.
It's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, what's really interesting, do you remember when we came down to sing a few songs for you and support? You were saying that, some of the water and the fish, and they were polluted, they were dying when they started building, when you were camping?
Well, all the fish died in the Hoac Lake, Pit 2, last September.
And that was due to the work?
We have no explanation, no report has ever been released to the cause of that.
Which is actually very strange, isn't it? Because they've been here for years and years and years.
They're 30-year-old fish. And eels, which are world red list migratory species. And they've always been in Denham Country Park, the eels. One of the oldest maps in the country is in Westminster Abbey, and it's this area of Denham Country Park, and it was to do with the Abbot of Westminster was trying to get the rights for the freshwater fish and the eels, and he did, because he produced the map.
And nobody stepped in to actually protect this?
Well, I mean, people have been using this area for so long, and that's why it's called heavily modified. But I think that the way people have been using it is in harmony to a great deal.
Yes.
Certainly compared with nowadays, the type of developments. This is not harmony, this is just pure destruction.
I'm afraid I have to agree with you on that one, Sarah, it really is.
Even the newest lake further over is a triple SI, and that's getting built across the edge.
And they're not going to replace any of this?
Well, they've got 4 very small areas of what they're calling mitigation. It's not mitigation, it's compensation. One is a wetland area, which is, I think it's 0.85 hectares. A teeny area. They are going to strip it bare, and they're going to dig a pond and put some basking banks.
Which is offensive, really.
It's offensive. It's not looking at the actual aquatic life. I mean, even if you look over there now, look how many damselflies and dragonflies. That's a big dragonfly. It's a hawker. These are different types.
There's a whole ecosystem that they're destroying, so I don't think any pond or any little pond, man-made pond that they can build very quickly is going to compensate, because this takes years to build up. Yes. Years, animals know their territory, they come in. I mean, it's just unthinkable, really.
And they're saying that this is not going to be disturbed. But if you take away the trees at the sides of the water bodies, you take away the life. I mean, for instance, we're going up here to see Denham Country Park, the edge of London, the giant redwood tree. None of that area needs to be in the HS2 construction land. They say they want it. They need it to put up a temporary overhead pylon in a nature reserve. I mean, that has to be against the Habitats Directive, because the first step of mitigation is you look very carefully and see which areas you can avoid. This area you can simply avoid. You don't need it.
We're going under the bridge, so this is the railway line from
London, Marylebone,
yes,
to Birmingham, Moor Street. It's the Chiltern line.
Wow.
Now, this was opened in 1908. They took a very careful land trace across. They didn't have additional roads in order to build these, and every single arch is a different width because they're carefully on the land bridges. Because this is a wetland, it's many water bodies side by side.
yes, yes.
Now HS2 don't want to do that. They want all of their arches to be identical, so they're actually moving rivers.
Two.
I mean, it's madness.
It is madness. So Sarah, this is a Ramsar site.
No, it isn't. It should be, because it is the most productive wetland in London.
So
Now,
how can we make it a Ramsar site? How can we get people to make that? I mean, it's very
well,
important.
if scientists came down and some of the wildlife trusts, you know, by just looking at what's here already, this should be designated in a way that it can't be touched.
Yeah, it can't be touched. I mean, especially if 20% of the drinking water comes
Yes.
from this particular site.
The
and they're
aquifer
moving
underneath it.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, so how can the public help in that? How can we...
I think they have to start asking questions, and they have to demand how our money is being spent. And why are we mounting up so much debt for our grandchildren at a time when really life itself is uncertain because of climate change?
Yes, I like that. I really, really think asking questions, and I think that's what we should always do.
Yes,
Whenever
and we
something...
can't vote for the same people
Again and again.
again and again and again, who are not putting a healthy environment, really. I mean, they all use the words, but they don't mean it. They want the economy over the environment. I'd like to see the people have more power.
And
The
use their
people
voice.
have much more say in local politics, much more say in what happens to our environment. And all the laws are there to say we can do that, but there's no practice.
There's no practice.